welcome to my channel. This is Delight with thedelightfullife.com, and today I am going to take one of the cabochons, the unfinished ones that I got from my Yvonne Williams Patreon craft-along box. That's quite a mouthful. And I'm going to dome it with some UV resin that I got here, my Sophie and Toffee resin. And I'm going to wire wrap it. I ended up making this little, I don't know if you can see this very well. I ended up making this morning. I was watching a tutorial on another channel, and I made this for another wire wrapping project, but then I decided to dome these to dome this guy because I was looking at it this morning and I saw how pretty it was, and I thought I could only make it better by doming it because it'll pop out all the colors. Let's see if I can get it a little closer to show you it, if it will focus. Will we focus? Maybe. Anyway, when I made this, I wasn't even thinking about this, but look, it ended up being almost a perfect fit. How weird is that? It's like it was meant to be, it was meant to go in there. So I'm going to dome this. I'm going to give it a good shot. I've domed things before. It can be a little tricky. It can spill over and make a complete and huge mess. But I've got my little silicone mat. That's how it fits in there. And that was just me making it randomly. So that's pretty cool. I'm going to see if I can dome this. It has rounded edges. Let's see if I can get it on here for you. But the edges are rounded, so I don't know if that's going to make all of the resin fly off the sides, but we're going to give it a go. So let me take my resin here. I usually dome with regular 2-part epoxy, but this is much quicker and it's not very big, so it's not big a deal, and I can use it much faster. I'm just going to put a little bit on. Let's see if that's enough. Oh, let's see. Let me get my toothpick out here and can kind of move it around a little bit. Get it to the edges. I need a little bit more. I just didn't want to overdo it and end up having it spill all over the place. Yeah, that's going to need a little bit more. Sorry about all that background noise. They are moving or redoing one of the apartments upstairs for me, and they are making all kinds of noise today. I think we've just about got it. Turn this and get it to the edges on the top here. think that will do it. Let me put it under the light. Alright, we got it covering most of the cabochon. You can see how shiny it is now. I need to get some more on these edges here. I didn't want it to spill over. I think if I put a little bit on my mat and then manually apply it to the sides, that might work. Let's see how it looks. I suppose if it doesn't work out, I can always just cover it up with some wire wrapping. You know, wire wrapping fixes everything. Let's see how it ends up looking. Just don't want it to get a big ridge, but I can always put some more on the top. Next time I try one of these side curvy cabs, I will do the sides first and then down the middle. So that will work. Let me cure that real quick. I'm going to do it off of my mat so I don't cure up all of my resin. I got a drip. Fix that. Okay. I'm going to do it off camera so I don't ruin the rest of my resin there. I just need a quick cure so I can finish it up. It's cool. It's glow in the dark, so when I put it under the UV light, it starts glowing. There's a bunch of glow in the dark swirls in it. I got a little bit over the side, but that's okay. It's going to be on the bottom, so there will be a lot more wire wrapping on the bottom there. I like Sophie and Toffee resin. My only complaint with it is if you don't fully cure it, it's a bit sticky, but I've experienced that from most of the UV resins that I have worked with. Some are stickier than others. So you really have to cure it for like 5 to 10 minutes for it to not be sticky anymore. Otherwise, it will stay tacky and you'll see like fingerprints and stuff if you touch it. But barring that, it seems to be a good resin. Alright, I think we got it covered on the sides. Yeah, definitely in the future, or if you decide to cover any of these rounded cabochons, or if you round any of your polymer clay cabochons, I would suggest doing the sides first and then doming the top so it will kind of cover over. So otherwise it gets a little like ridge on it and it looks kind of crummy. Okay, let's cure that. And then we'll put a final little thin layer on the whole thing and get it looking nice. Okay, I am put my stuff over here. I'm gonna try redoming this to get rid of the lines that I made when I filled in the sides. Let's see if I am just making more of a mess for myself or if it actually works. If it turns out messy, I'll just make it for myself. Not a big deal, because I like it anyway. Kind of go over the sides a little bit. See if that helps. Let's see, I got a little bubble in there. Let me pop that with my lighter. It looks pretty good. I got a little bit of drips on the side. Let me get rid of those. That's what I was trying to avoid, but it looks like it's going to be unavoidable. Alright, I will cure this again and I will be right back. Okay, I got this guy all finished, re-poured, re-cured, and it didn't come out too bad. I rather like it. There's a little bit of like a rough spot on it, but then I glazed it over with some clear nail polish, which I actually found out from different resin folks that they do it too, so I don't feel so bad for my little, it was a little hack that I thought, oh, I'll just do this and see how it turns out. But I just use this Dollar Tree top coat and it works like a charm. I've not ever had any peeling or anything. It feels really nice and smooth. It levels out the resin if you make a mistake or just if there's little bumps. I don't know. The bubbles all popped. There's no bubbles. It just had like little dots on top and they were a little bit rough. So I did that. Now I have to figure out what I'm going to do with this guy in the little frame that I made on accident. That was the exact size of this cabochon, which is still boggling my mind. I mean, look at this. It's like I measured it, but I literally made it just by hand. I had a scrap of wire sitting on the side of my desk, and I just wrapped it, bent it around, didn't even use a form. Usually when I make little round forms like this, I'll put it around like a bottle. I have like these little jars. I'll use one of those, or if I'm making a big one, I'll use my UV resin bottle. You know, I have my little toothpick container. I'll use that if I need a big one. Really, I've always used a form, and this one was the first time that I just went freehand. And it fits perfectly. Like, I made it for this cabochon, and I wasn't even looking at it. I didn't decide to dome this cabochon until, like, I don't know, 2 hours after I made this frame. Weird. I've been kind of in a weird state of mind. For the last couple days, I'm doing a 72-hour fast, and I am, let's see, at 1 o'clock this afternoon, I was at 48 hours in, so I have until tomorrow at 1 o'clock, like 1:15, 1:30-ish, somewhere around there, until I can eat something. I've just been drinking water. I had a little cup of tea earlier, peppermint tea with no sugar, no cream or anything. I've done one before. I didn't get all the way through it because I had to work, and at the time I was still working in the office, and now I work from home, but I had to walk. I walk a mile to the bus stop because I leave at like 4 o'clock in the morning because I work at 6, and it takes me like an hour and a half to get to work because I live in Clackamas, Oregon, which is just outside of Portland, but it takes a long time to get to my work, which is downtown, almost. And I was walking. Well, I woke up. The first 2 days were fine. Then on the third day, which would have been, I would have had to go till 7 o'clock at night because that's when I started the fast. I woke up and I just felt like super weak. I was really lightheaded. I couldn't like stand up for more than a few minutes without feeling like I was going to fall over. So I was like, no, this is not going to happen. I cannot make it to the bus. I cannot walk an hour and actually make it. So I ended up eating a spoonful of peanut butter, which broke the fast. I didn't eat anything else for the rest of the day until 7, but I knew it was already a done deal at that point. So I was satisfied that I made it as long as I did because that was my first time fasting, but I was disappointed that I didn't get the whole 72. So this time I decided to do 2 days. I started on Monday. I had to go into the office because I have to go into the office once a month. And I started after my last break, which is at 1:15. I ate an apple with peanut butter, which is my favorite meal of in the whole world. So I had a salad that day. I had 2 eggs for breakfast, and I had an apple for my dinner. And I'm going to use this Parawire. It is 24 gauge, and the color is antique copper, and I love it. It's one of my favorite colors. But I think it'll go with this like orangey colored wire that I made the frame out of really well. So I'm going to wrap with this, and I'm just going to pull off like, I don't know, a good arm span full of wire here. And if I need more, I can always add more later. But anyway, I started the fast that afternoon, so at like 1:30. I'm just going to call it at 1:30. And I finished my apple, and then I didn't eat for the rest of the day. Got home, did my thing I usually do. My usual routine is I exercise in the morning when I wake up before I eat. Then I eat something, and then I go and, do whatever it is that I'm doing for the day, whether I'm working or if I have 3 days off, so some days I'm just at home and doing things or, going shopping or whatever. but I figured I'd start at Monday, then I work Tuesday and Wednesday, and I have Thursday off, so the that would work out, and the last day will be my day off. I actually think I've made it longer than I did that first time, because I only made it 7 o'clock would have been my ending time, and I only made it until 3 o'clock, 3:15 in the morning, because that's when I get up when I have to go into work. So I think I've actually made it longer right now at this point than I did on that day on my first go round. I'll have to figure out exactly how long I've been fasting right now at this moment. I know I made it past my 2-day point right now. I think I just barely made it over 2 days because I still had a good, well, a lot of hours. I'm not doing the math in my head. That is the one thing about fasting is it makes you a little bit scattered, like scatterbrained, and you know, it's all right. I mean, I do technical support. That's my job. I'm a network analyst for a grocery store, but you know, I was able to do my job today. I was thinking all right. It wasn't too bad. You know, I got everybody back up and running. So, but ow, in the future, I don't know. I don't do 72-hour fast very often. What had happened was trying to see if I actually poked through my skin or if I just poked myself. I'm not bleeding, so I think I just poked myself. I don't do 72-hour fasts very often. 24 hours is probably going to be my normal, but I had, oh Jesus, I keep really poking myself with this. I need to cut it off. 24 hours is going to be more of my normal from now on. I had to, when I did that first fast, the first 24-hour one, or tried to do 72 hours, and I just barely made it over 48, I think. After that, I started intermittent fasting, and I did it every single day, and I did it for over a year. Because it was actually around this same time last year that I started it. I'm just smushing down this little end so I quit poking my finger because I don't want to make myself bleed. But that one I kind of did on a whim, and I didn't really do a lot of research on it, I'll admit. I did it completely wrong. I was intermittent fasting every single day, and I don't eat much as it is on a normal basis, and the problem that I discovered, and I've been watching a lot of Thomas DeLauer and Dr. Eric Berg's videos about fasting. What I didn't realize was that I actually completely jacked up my metabolism and I made it so that essentially I would have to starve myself to keep losing weight. I couldn't understand. I hit like this plateau. I was barely eating. And as I started, you know, like seeing less and less coming off the scale, I started eating less and less. And I was getting to the point where I was almost eating nothing. I was just eating one meal a day, and I was still not seeing a single bit of change in my body. I got down to 145 pounds, and then it wasn't going anymore. I wasn't losing any weight. I'm going to go on the other side of this. So I've wrapped this here starting, and I almost started wrapping on this side of the hole, but I need to wrap on this side so I can go up, not down. Although I suppose I could put the, you know, put the wire up here and start wrapping down. That would work. But anyway, I got down to 145 pounds, and then it just stopped, and I wasn't losing any more weight. And then I would fluctuate between 145 and 147, but I was not eating. I was not eating anything, and I was getting incredibly discouraged. And I'm actually going to start talking about my weight loss story. I won't really go much into it right now, but I did lose 150 pounds. I used to weigh a little over 300 pounds at one point. And I think my next video I'm actually going to talk about that because, you know, I'm really proud of what I've accomplished. Altogether, if that was just like the amount that I've lost body-wise, but if I go into all of the weight that I've lost accumulatively over, this has been a almost 20-year journey for me. I started losing weight in 2000, and I have probably lost a total of over 200 pounds because, you know, I would gain 5 pounds, lose 5 pounds, gain 10 pounds, lose 10 pounds, gain 20 pounds, lose 15, gain, you know, it was an up and down thing, but I've never gone past, I got up to 190 again, and I said, oh no, yes, I did make myself bleed. Oh well, it's okay, it's just a tiny little bit. But I said, oh no, this is not going to happen again. So I got up to 190, and that was when I had been hovering around, I'm going back around. I went over from one side to the other, and now I'm going to go in back here. I don't know if I'm actually going to be able to do this because it's really tight in there. We'll find out. I think I can do this last one without the cat being in here. But you know, I swore to myself I would never get back over 200. So in 2014, I started working on myself again. I stopped eating sugar. I've always been a very, if I've had any addiction, I don't smoke, I don't drink alcohol. If I had one addiction, it was sugar. And I finally quit that in 2014, and then I fell off the wagon again when I moved to Portland in 2017. But I've since even quit like honey and things like that. But over the years, I have lost, you know, probably a cumulative of over 200 pounds if I really sat down and thought about it. But I came from a very heavy family, and I never actually thought that I would, first of all, lose the weight because I was an overweight child. I started gaining weight when I was 7 years old, and I was very overweight my whole life until I was 27 and decided that I wasn't having it no more. And that was the changing point for me. That was 2000, and I lost 120 pounds and got down to 180. At that point, I was insanely proud of myself. I made myself like, I got myself a little bit of confidence. The problem was I still didn't have any self-esteem at that point. So it was it was quickly lost, let's just put it that way. Confidence without self-esteem is like a car without tires. It's still a car. It might turn on, but it ain't gonna go nowhere. So it took me until last year to actually gain some self-esteem and to make things work for me in that way, and I've felt so much better. And I'm going to talk more about these in my other videos. You guys let me know if you like just, me talking to the camera straight, or if you like watching me do some wire wrapping while I talk to the camera, and it kind of combines both of my passions, which are helping people and doing art. So yeah, let me know. I'm like super shaky today because I haven't eaten in over 2 days, so yeah, bear with me on that one. But I think I can finish this without that in there. I can slide it in since I did the small part first. I think I can slide it in without much trouble. This is going to end up being wonky, but it's just going to be for me because the finish didn't turn out exactly the way I wanted it, and it's a little bit funky, but this was an experiment for me. And I have 2 of these cabochons, and I loved them both, so I can keep one now. But yeah, let me know if you like watching me craft and talk about my life, or do them separately. I can do either one. But I kind of wanted to make a video for my fasting and do this crafting video. So I'm kind of combining them into one so I don't have to, because I'm being lazy. But yeah, I'm losing my train of thought because, again, my brain is being very wonky right now, and not like I don't always lose my train of thought, but it's being a little bit more hard to keep the thread going because my mind is just like, I don't know, tired, I guess. It really wants me to eat something and I'm not, so it's just not cooperating with me, really. It's really a lot of willpower that it takes to do the fast, because your first inclination is to go eat something when you're hungry. It's common sense, but I am going to do this, and so me and my brain have been having just battle royale in my mind here, and you really learn a lot about how much of your eating habits are boredom and how much is actual hunger. Because right now I'm pretty hungry, but I don't have that like I want to go out and eat everything in the world kind of feeling. It's just like I could eat something. I could eat a little snack. And actually, when I break my fast tomorrow, I'm going to be eating eggs, which is, according to Thomas DeLauer, a really good thing to break a fast with. It's not hard on your stomach. It's got a lot of good proteins and omega-3s. See, the last time I did this fast, I realized from watching his stuff that I did it completely wrong. I was still taking my vitamins. I take a lot of vitamin C and stuff, and taking antioxidants is actually, it can break your fast. So I don't really think that I mean, for a first time, I was pretty proud of myself because I didn't actually eat anything for those a little over 48 hours. But I didn't quite make it through a full fast. And that was a little disappointing, but come on, my kitty. It's Frodo. Frodo wants to cuddle. He hears me talking. He knows that I'm filming and he likes to come in here and and cuddle with me. And I love my photos. Anyway, going back to my little weight loss journey, and I only want to touch on it briefly, just so you know kind of where I'm going with that. But yeah, I made a lot of poor life decisions. As a child, I was I didn't think that anybody loved me, and I had absolutely no self-esteem whatsoever, based upon a few unfortunate things that happened in my childhood, which I have worked through. And, you know, I might talk about them eventually, but as I talked about in my last video about venting, I will never name what happened or really go into, you know, detail about it, because that is something that I need to discuss with the person that is involved and not, you know, the general public. I'm not really venting about it. It would be more of a, hey, this is what happened to me kind of thing. Need to remove my jacket. As a result of the fasting, I keep getting hot and then cold and hot and cold. But yeah, as a child, I was very overweight, and you know, I grew up in a family who loved food, and there was always sweets around, and I used it to comfort myself. I comforted myself with food. I have since learned other ways. Since I started actually loving myself and caring about myself, I want to be healthy, and I want, hi Frodos, watch out, so I can finish this. I cannot wrap around you, kitten. You know, but I want to be healthy. Where am I going here? I don't know. I lost it. So he sits right in my line of vision, so I can't see. Oh, I love my kitten. I don't know what I was doing here. I moved it and then I got lost. I'll have to do it again. Here we go. Don't eat my wire. But, you know, I've learned how to love myself and how to comfort myself. And that's something that I want to help teach you guys, you know, if that's where you're going in life. If you don't love yourself, and it's, you know, you may think, oh, I totally love myself, but when you really get down to it, if you're having problems in life, you probably don't. Because once you start loving yourself, all of your problems start to disappear, because you just have love in your life. It's like the most amazing thing. So anyway, I was an overweight child, and it wasn't till my 20s, and I'm going to put pictures on my post that I actually go into this. All right, Kenny, you need to move because I can't see around you. Oh, there you go. I'll post pictures from what I looked like before and different parts of my journey. Unfortunately, you know, I was born in the 70s, and so I have quite a few pictures, but then as I got older, you know, developing film was a pain in the patoot. It really was not fun, and so I didn't really take a lot of pictures of myself as I got older, mainly because I was embarrassed about being so overweight. I have a few though, and that's how it's looking so far. I like it. I might leave part of the middle open, like just do a couple more here and then skip down to, you know, get it nice and secure on the top, and then leave the middle open and then do the bottom. But, you know, I was, and I'm actually going to clip some of this wire here because I don't need that much. I'm only doing a few more rounds. Let me clip it right. Oh, for goodness sakes. Shaky hands. I, you know, became an overweight adult, and I didn't really like to have pictures taken of myself. I was embarrassed. You know, I spent my whole life being overweight, and I didn't like myself one little bit. So I tended to stay away from the camera. Um, I actually started taking photos. I love taking photos. I love being behind the camera. I just did not at all enjoy being in front of it. So there are not a lot of photos of me as an adult um, being overweight. I have some just from, you know, family events, my sister's wedding and things like that. But as a whole, I avoided being in front of the camera. But there's enough that you get an idea of what I looked like before I started losing weight, and a lot from my childhood, you know, because my family took a lot of photos. But, you know, it was a journey. It was a rough journey, but I made it, and I'm super proud of myself for sticking it out and doing it, you know. And I've spent almost 20 years making sure that I don't go back there, because I don't want to be overweight ever again. Um, but I had to start loving my body, and actually one of my goals with my channel is to eventually do a video and show you what I look like behind the clothes, because, you know, clothes camouflage a lot of stuff. Um, you know, I have loose skin. I honestly, because I lost weight so slowly, um, I mean, I lost 120 pounds in a year, but that is actually not insanely fast um, for a lot of large weight loss. People who have gastric bypass, which I did not have. Um, I didn't have the money for it at the time. It was not covered by insurance, and I just didn't have, you know, $20,000, $30,000, 40. I think when I looked into it, it was like 50 grand, and I didn't have that kind of money at the time. And I thought about giving up and just saying, you know, forget it. But it was stepping on the scale and seeing, like, I think it got up to 309 pounds. And I was like, oh no, 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 no. This is not going to be my life. And I, you know, I went to places like Curves was new at the time. They were so expensive, and I was like, you know, I'm not going to be able to do this, because I can't afford to do these, you know, gimmicky weight loss meal plan doodads. And I discovered that you don't need that crap. Really, you don't. It's just a waste of money. You don't need it at all. Um, you can lose a lot of weight all on your own just by changing up your diet. And I'm actually, you know, that's one of my passions, is I want to help people who were like me, who just want to, you know, be smaller, or even just be healthier. If you're happy with the size that you're at, if you just want to maintain it and be healthy, you know, healthy can be at any size, really. You want to be healthy at any size. You know, at the time when I was overweight, we didn't have the body positive movement. And I honestly don't know how I feel about the body positive movement. I mean, I'm glad that people aren't really making fun of people anymore, but I don't think that, and I know I'll probably get a lot of flack for this, but being obese, morbidly obese, is not healthy. It's not good for your body. It's really bad. So, you know, disagree with me or not, that's your deal, you know, but my belief, and I would not push my beliefs on anybody. All right, here's what we got right now. There's the front, and there's the back. And I may end up, a lot of times when I do resin projects, I will resin over the wires, and it just kind of locks them in there. But no, I don't think that being morbidly obese is healthy. I didn't find myself attractive at that point, and I honestly don't know how I feel about other people, but I try not to judge, you know. It's their deal, not mine. If they feel good about it, then, you know, that's them, not me. But it's just not healthy. The way that you have to eat to become that way, if you eat like a normal person, and I know a lot of people say, you know, it's my genetics or my glands. Well, yeah, my genetics were everybody in my family was overweight, like morbidly obese, overweight. And you don't have to be that way if you eat healthy. My family ate atrociously. It was bad. You know, sweets all the time, large, huge, gigantic meals, going back for thirds. Yeah, it just wasn't healthy. And I learned over the years how to eat in a way that was healthy. And I still eat well. I love, you know, I have good meals. The only thing I don't eat is sugar, but I've discovered that I don't need it. It actually clogs up my brain. Since I've quit sugar completely, I feel so clear, and I can think straight, and I don't have the mental health issues that I used to have. That stuff is a killer, and I'll talk about that in another video, but, you know, just kind of giving you an overview of what's going on. But yeah, I was very unhealthy at the time. So going back to what I did wrong with my fasting that I've discovered on Dr. Eric Berg's videos and Thomas DeLauer's videos, I basically screwed up my metabolism, and I would have basically been eating nothing and still not losing weight, because my body was like in a mode of, oh my goodness, you're dying, you know, what's going on? So what I did with this, I basically went back to eating normal for a few weeks, which is hard for me because I still, you know, sometimes have the mindset, and it's something I'm working on, that, you know, I'm going to gain weight if I eat like a normal person. It's a mental, you know, thing. And I've actually gotten more into like law of attraction kind of stuff. I know it sounds like, you know, a bunch of hooey, but really and truly, you make your own reality. And when I started watching law of attraction videos, I started realizing that I was setting myself up for failure my whole life. I used to say that, oh, you know, I don't even have to eat that pie. I just look at it and I gain weight. And I did. I did lose, you know, gain weight just by looking at food. I didn't even have to gain it or eat it, because I had programmed myself that I was that I was overweight and that I was going to gain weight no matter what I did, and I did. So I've recently stopped doing that. I also had programmed myself that I was poor and that I didn't have any money, and I broke that down and stopped doing that. And actually, I have been more wealthy than I've ever had in my entire life. I'm not living paycheck to paycheck anymore. I have extra money. I have money left over every week. I have been saving money. I have over $1,000 in my savings account, and I never thought I would ever be able to save money, but it was just the story that I was telling myself. And you don't have to live by those stories. Live by your own stories. Make up your own story. You can be and do whatever you want. You can make it happen just by believing that you can. don't let anybody tell you that you can't, because they're lying. They just don't believe it themselves. You know, when we're children, we believe in magic, and it's not until grown-ups say magic doesn't exist that we stop believing in that. But you don't have to, because you know what? You're a grown-up now, and you make your own rules. You know? I mean, don't go out and kill people, for goodness sakes, but you don't have to. Don't step on my keyboard, you're going to pause my video. You don't have to believe what other people have fed you your whole life. You can make your own story. And that's what I'm doing. And I want you guys to see the results of it. But yeah, anyway, I gained back 10 pounds, roughly. I mean, I fluctuate between 5 and, 5 pounds or so, 5 and 3 pounds every day, just from normal, water weight and eating. So I wasn't really that worried about it, and I've been able to lose weight pretty quickly now that I've gotten the process down. I don't really worry about small weight gains, like 15, 20 pounds is like nothing. I can get rid of that pretty quickly. But yeah, once I discovered that I was the one holding myself back and not fasting correctly, I quit doing that, and I started eating normal for a few weeks. I actually spent all of October eating pretty normal, and then I decided at the beginning of November that I would go back and do the 72-hour fast just to kind of reset everything, because fasting, like long-term fasting, especially for people over 40, is really good for you. And women especially, we are really well equipped to fast and get the most benefit from it, because our body was made to basically let another living creature devour it. And it's so we're more adept at fasting, and we recover from it a lot faster. So yeah, it's not been going too bad. But starting next week, I'm just going to eat sensibly, not fasting at all. My normal 2.5 to 3 meals a day. I don't eat a lot, but I'm trying to get myself back into the habit of eating, normal, healthy meals. And then that should reset my metabolism so that I can start losing weight again. I've been working on getting down to 130 pounds. That was my original goal when I started losing weight. And, well, I've never gotten there. The closest I've gotten so far is 144. And I was beginning to think that I would never get there, but I'm determined. And, I've still got a lot of years ahead of me, so I'm going to get there. So that's my goal, is 130 pounds. Because then I figured, I would have enough leeway that if I gained a little bit of weight, it wouldn't really bother me that much. I was stuck at 157 for almost 2 years, and I was so frustrated. But now I know why. It was because I was not giving my body a chance to allow that metabolism to, do its thing. I was basically sabotaging my entire self by not eating, and then, not eating even less, and I was just screwing up the whole works. Okay, I need to cut this other wire because it's starting to drive me nuts. See, it's nice when you cut too much, because then you don't have to worry about running out. My shaky hands trying to cut this wire is nearly impossible. Alright. But yeah, it's been a process. It's been a learning process, and I actually love it. I love learning. And you know, that's what helped me start my mental health journey. Was I just wanted to learn more and better myself. And, you know, I managed it. I've gotten there. I've been a year into it, a little over a year into it, and I just love it. And I love who I've become. You know, there are some people in my life who weren't very happy with the changes that I've made in my life, but, you know, I wish them well. And, you know, I hope they find somebody that can, you know, be that person for them. But I'm not going back to the person I was, so, you know, sorry. It's been rough on my friends and my family. Luckily, my husband is actually very supportive of all the changes I've gone through. Sometimes he's the only one who's supportive of the changes that I've gone through, but at this point in my life, he is the most important person to me other than myself. Okay, he's the second most important person to me because I am the most important. You know, I love my kids, but I know they have their own lives, and that's cool with me. I know I'm not the most important person in my kids' lives, and that's cool. You know, it's something that some parents really have a rough time with, is realizing that their kids are they're humans, you know, they're their own being. You may have helped them come into this world, but they own their lives. You can't, you know, force them to be who you want them to be. They need to be themselves, or else, you know, they're going to be pretty miserable and they will not want to be in your life anymore. So you know, give them their room. Let them do their thing. They'll still be there. You know, I love my kids and they love me and we talk all the time, but I'm not up in their business. I let them live their own lives. When they need me, they call. You know, when they text, I'm there for them. But I don't text people on a regular basis because I like letting people live their own lives. It was a hard one for me. I was a very big control freak because that's what I grew up with, was control, and you have to do what I say because I say so. And I don't want to be that way anymore. And I like letting people live their own lives. There we go. That is pretty freaking secure. That is not going anywhere. I'm like really pulling hard on this guy. And it is stuck in there. I like it. I think I got a little bit of loosies on the back, so I'm just gonna go through with my round nose pliers, grab the wire, and just give it a little crimp to tighten it up, just so don't go slip and sliding all over the place. I love my crimps. I crimp everything. So yeah, thanks for letting me ramble on this video. Be on the lookout for my story video of my weight loss journey. It's gonna have pictures of how I looked previously, and then I'm eventually going to do a body reveal of what I look like under the clothes. I'm not gonna get naked. It's just gonna be like my bikini or something. But you know, it's still a little bit daunting because, you know, it's, there we go. There's the front. Here, there we go. This won't focus. There we go. There's better focus. That's what the top looks like. I'm probably gonna wrap a little stone up in this area, right up here. Oh, you might have noticed my nails. My nails grow like crazy, but eventually one of them will get like a little slit on the side, and then I have to cut it off. This one, I think it was this one that's slit down the bottom, and it was this one on this finger, or on this hand. So I end up just trimming them all so they're similar length, otherwise it looks silly. That's the back with my little crimps. And where are you going? I'm going off camera. I like it. I like the way it turned out. Let me see, I got some extra wire here, so let me dig a bead out and we'll stick one like right here on the top. I got a bunch of gemstone beads, so I'll use that because I like crystals. But the main purpose of me talking about this, let's see, that's blue. I think I'm gonna do what do I want? I've got some, let's see, I've got some Amazonite here, which I like a lot, and it's kind of a similar blue. Let's see how that looks. Whew. Flying away. Yeah, I think that'll look really pretty. Okay, so I'm gonna stay up there, but so I'm gonna put this little. See, I think that's a 4mm Amazonite bead. We can put that right on the top in that little triangle bit. My point was, there are so many ways that you can improve your life, and it is my goal. If you watched my other video, my passion is to help people. I cut myself off a little chunk of this wire because I don't want to deal with the whole long thing. Do you know? You want to improve your life? Do it. If you don't, well, just be aware that the more you blame other people for the misfortunes in your life, the more misfortune you're going to have in your life, because you create your reality, and owning your life and being responsible for yourself is one of the biggest ways to grow your life and change it. When you start owning all of the crap, be it good or bad, in your life, you just make these amazing discoveries and big, huge changes. And it's just so amazing and so beautiful. And you start to realize that you own your life, and nobody in the whole world can affect your life other than you. People, I hear a lot of people saying, oh, he made me angry. No, that doesn't exist. That's not a thing. You allowed somebody to affect you in a way, and you became angry. That is the self-responsible way of acknowledging something like that. And feeling anger is fine, but just feel it and let it go. The problem is we hang on to feelings and we won't let them go. We don't deal with them. Yeah, we vent, and I'm going to go into a venting actual talk because I'm really against it. But venting is an ego ideal. Venting is your ego's way of saying, I'm right. And when you vent to other people, especially when they're friends with you, they're going to say, oh yeah, you're right. You are totally in the right. You have every right to feel that way. And whether you do or not is pretty much irrelevant. You're not dealing with the situation. You're just prolonging it. You're just, getting all raged up and really just hurting yourself because you're not actually dealing with the situation. You're just making it okay that this person made you angry when they didn't. You made you angry. You let the situation make you angry. So, deal with those things. It's going to make your life like a million times better. Trust me, I didn't think it was possible, but I am so much happier in my life right now. It is not even funny, and I did not think that it was possible. I thought it was all a bunch of baloney. Baloney. When I started this, I was like, yeah, right, I'm never going to get there. I have too many issues. I'm never going to be happy. The most I can hope for is to not be as miserable as I am right this minute. Well, you know what? I am freaking happy as a clam. Well, if clams are happy, who knows? But I am so happy. My life every day, I am thankful. Guys, I don't know. I wish I could share like the amount of happy that I am every single day with the whole world. And I do, I try, you know, like I really believe that me being happy, I smile at everybody. And I used to hate people. I was one of those, oh, I hate people kind of people. I didn't like being around people. I didn't like going into public. You know, I did not want to be around anybody. And I was a miserable little person. And I thought it was other people. I was like, I don't like other people because I don't like people. That's it. You know, I didn't take ownership for it. I didn't like other people because I didn't like me. I did not like delight. I was just miserable. I didn't feel like I was loved. I didn't feel like I deserved love. I was just a very unhappy person. And I worked very hard to make other people suffer in my misery along with me. So if you were on that journey with me, I'm so sorry. You know, whew, I like it. What do you think? I like it a lot. I'll take a picture. I know this camera is not very happy. Oh, I'm going to do an unboxing. My husband, for our anniversary, Halloween was our 16th anniversary. He's put up with me for 16 years, and I love him to death. But he got me exactly what I wanted. I want to do some ASMR videos and more videos like, you know, I'm trying to upgrade my equipment, and I was going to get a blue microphone, but I thought because I don't always sit at my computer to record. Sometimes I go outside, like when I'm doing my meditation videos or my meditations. I go outside to record because I'll go sit by a creek or something. But he got me a Tascam recorder and some headphones, some really nice headphones so I can listen to what I'm recording and when I'm editing. It's so lovely. He's such an awesome person. I love him so much. So yeah, I'm going to do an unboxing for that, and then I'll start using it. And but yeah, just be happy. Or don't. It's up to you. If you want to be miserable for the rest of your life, that's all good. Be there. But just know this. Just know this. Your life will not change until you decide to change it. You will keep on being miserable. You will keep on being unhappy. You will keep on being broke. You will keep on being overweight. You will keep on being all of those things that you don't want to be, that you blame other people for, until you decide that you're not going to be them anymore. It's all up to you. You are the only one who can make that decision and make it happen. It is all you. There we go. The universe telling me that I needed to make this necklace. I'm just randomly making the frame that fit perfectly for this cabochon. I love it. So yeah, there it is. Where was I? You. It is all you. 150% you. Here, I'll come up and talk. the camera work the last time. There we go. Okay. Anyway, yeah, it's all you, 100% you. You make your life however it's going to be, whether it be miserable or happy or, you know, prosperous or broke. It's all you. You control your reality. You are the only person who controls your reality. When you give up your power to other people, they get to make your life however they want, and it's not going to be good. Trust me. Anyway, thank you for listening to me ramble on about my fasting. I'll update. Maybe I'll make a quick update post tomorrow. It's been good. I'm feeling a lot better than I was the last time I did it. At least I know what to expect this time, and you know, I don't feel quite so nervous. You know, it's a little scary not eating for 3 days. um, you believe that you're going to die or something. You know, people tell you, oh, you can't go for that long without eating. You're gonna die. You don't die. It's actually really good for you. There's a lot of studies. I won't go into them because they're not that exciting. I like reading about them, but you know, not everybody does. But yeah, not dead. Going on 3 days without eating, not dead. Been drinking a lot of water. That's what you need, water. That's how you live. But I'm really excited to start making more videos about my journey and getting in front of the camera more and, you know, incorporating my crafts along with my meditations and everything else. I'm very excited for it. And yeah, my pretty little pendant here, I'll put it on a chain and maybe I'll wear it in my next video. I have so many right now that I have made and have not shared. But this video is like super long right now, so I'm gonna cut it off here. And thanks for joining me. Have a lovely journey. Be on the lookout for my weight loss videos, and I'll see you soon. Bye.